So we continue with the chapter nutrition, and we have completed the carbohydrates, fats and proteins. Now we see the fourth part, and that is the mineral salts. So mineral salts are the fourth kind of nutrients which are required by the body. Now, mineral salts are needed in the diet in small quantities. Table salt contain mainly sodium and sodium chloride. Many other mineral salts are obtained from various food stuffs such as green vegetables and fruits. Some important minerals elements are and their nutrient values are as follows. Calcium and phosphorus help in strengthening of the bones and teeth. Calcium is also required in the process of clotting of blood. So blood clotting के लिए calcium ions are required. Apart from that, calcium is also and phosphorus is required for strengthening of bones and teeth. Phosphorus is required in various chemical processes, as in the production of chemical energy ATP. You know, ATP is nothing but adenosine triphosphate. So phosphorus is required for the production of ATP. During cell respiration, rich sources are milk, meat, egg, fish, pulse, vegetables, etc. Iron has a role of formation of hemoglobin. Its deficiency leads to anemia. Sources: green leafy vegetables, liver, etc. So very well we know that iron, that is hemoglobin present in the blood, is the one which is going to carry the oxygen to the body. So if iron deficiency is there, that means hemoglobin deficiency is there. Hemoglobin deficiency causes the deficiency of oxygen for the body, and accordingly the person will suffer from anemia. Iodine is required for proper functioning of the thyroid. Its deficiency causes goiter. Sources: vegetables, mineral water, etc. That is iodine. Iodine is required. Thyroxine is produced. The thyroid gland is over here and produces thyroxine. The thyroxine main ingredient is iodine. So iodine is required for the production of thyroxine. Potassium and sodium are needed for cell permeability, especially in nerve cells. So sources are food and table salt. So the detailed things are given over here in the table. So it is given calcium. Source is dairy, food, beans and cabbage. The function is to constitute of the bones and animal, required for muscle contraction, clotting of blood. Deficiency is rickets, poor skeletal growth. Sodium, table salt, regulates acid-base equilibrium. Muscle cramp, nerves, impulses do not get transmitted. Potassium, banana, potato, citrus fruits. Nerve and muscle activity, fluid balance and secretion of the neurotransmitters, acetylcholine. And if deficiency is there, nerve impulses do not get transmitted. Next is phosphorus. Dairy source is dairy products, cereals, beans, nuts, meat, eggs. Function of phosphorus is to synthesis of nucleic acid, ATP, NADP, bones, animals, and muscle contraction, conduction of nerve impulses. And deficiency will be soft bones. Magnesium, vegetable, whole grains, nuts, seafood, etc., meat, etc. And bones and tooth structure, synthesis of enzymes. And deficiency will be increased irritability of nervous system. Sulfur is dairy products, onion, garlic, radish, meat, egg, and components of the proteins and coenzymes, and causes skin problem. Chlorine, table salt, water balance, secretion of HCl in the gastric juice, and muscle cramps is the deficiency. Micronutrients: iron will be in whole cereals, fish, nut, egg, yolk, liver, kidney. Synthesis of hemoglobin associated with oxidation reaction. Anemia, deficiency of hemoglobin in blood. Cobalt, which is milk, cereal, pulses, liver, red meat. And development of red blood cells, components of B12. And perennial anemia. Copper, nut, leguminous. I think these all things will not be required. What you will learn is only the first part, that is the calcium, sodium, potassium, phosphorus, and then iron. So these are the things what you can learn. Baki ka jo hai, we can just go through once. But iodine is important. Iodine is iodized salt, so which is already given in the written part. So this is what is there. So iodine is iodized salt, water, seafood. Components of thyroxine hormone secreted by the thyroid gland. And goiter, cretinism in childhood, the deficiency diseases. Yeah, that is, I think that is sufficient enough from this table. We next see the vitamins. Vitamins. Now, Vitamins are chemical substances needed in minute amounts which help maintain a healthy body. Most vitamins act as catalysts or enzymes in essential chemical changes in the body, but each vitamin also has some special function in our body. So yeah, vitamins are basically going to be required in a very small quantity in the body, and that's why they are going to be much more acting as a catalyst or much more as an enzyme rather than a complete nutrient. So that's why they are going to be in small quantities, and they will be having a specialized function. Each and every There are many different kinds of vitamins, and each and every vitamin has got a specialized function in our body. Vitamins are naturally contained in the foods, but a couple of them are also synthesized in our body. Some vitamins A, D, E, and K are fat soluble and can be stored in the body for a longer period of time, but those or some others, that is B complex containing several vitamins named B1, B2, etc., and C are water soluble and cannot be stored in a longer period of time. So it is seen that the vitamins are going to be of two kinds. One is the fat soluble and other are water soluble. The fat soluble are A, D, E, and K. Now these fat soluble are the one which can be present in the fats, and that's why they can be stored in our body. Whereas the complete series of the B, that is B complex, and the C, they are the one which are water soluble, hence they cannot be stored in the body. So even if you take regular intake of vitamin B or vitamin C, they will be absorbed in our body for only that much content which is required by the body, and balance is going to be thrown out of the body in the form of urine. So that is the reason that water soluble kind of vitamins you will need to intake almost on a regular basis, whereas the fat soluble may not be intake on regular basis. Absence or shortage of vitamins in diet over a continued period causes deficiency diseases. In a low concentration, vitamins have a catalytic and regulatory function in cell metabolism. Excess of vitamin may also be harmful. Excess water soluble vitamins are easily excreted out. So that was about vitamins. Now the vitamin के लिए उन लोग ने यहाँ पे पूरा एक chart दिया है. So in that chart you can learn the vitamin A, D, B1, and C. Okay, or you can say you can learn A, D, A, D, E, A, D, E, K, B1 and C. So that is what you can learn. The B2, B3 वो गया है, वो अगर learn नहीं किया तो चलेगा, because it are not so important. So you can see over here the A is called as retinol. So vitamin A is also called as retinol, and it is rich sources of butter, egg, yolk, liver, milk, carrot, leafy vegetables and all. Chief function is to promote growth, resistant infection of the skin and mucous membrane. Components of visual purple in the retinal cells of the eyes for perception of vision. So basically eye related thing, the retina ka liye A is required. That is why it's called as retinol also. And deficiency of this will cause night blindness, poor vision in the dim light, and xerophthalia, the dryness of the cornea of ulceration. Vitamin D is calciferol, which is again fish, liver oil, milk, egg produced by ultraviolet rays in the skin. Helps the body in to use calcium and phosphorus in the form of bones and teeth. And in case of deficiency, it causes rickets in children, bones lacking calcium and turn soft, and osteomalacia in adults, fractures may occur. E is tocopherol. Milk, whole wheat, prevents oxidation of the vitamin A, muscle weakness, nerve damage, immune system problems. K is phylloquinone, which is leafy green vegetables, especially cabbage and spinach, also synthesized in intestine. Needed in clotting of blood and hemorrhage. So deficiency will be hemorrhage, delay in the clotting time. Water soluble is B1, which is thiamine, which is from whole wheat grains, yeast, liver, eggs and lean meat. Increased growth and appetite helps in digestion and functioning of the nervous system. It causes a disease called beriberi, a disease marked with inflammatory or degeneration. Degenerate changes in nerve muscles become weak. B2 is riboflavin, उसका ज़रूरत नहीं है. B3 not required. B5 again not required. B6 not required. B9 is folic acid. Yeah, you can see B9 is folic acid, which is liver and leafy vegetables. So synthesis of hemoglobin. So that is important because it is the synthesis of hemoglobin, and that's why the deficiency of vitamin B9, that is folic acid, will lead to anemia. So blood deficiency in the red blood cells. So hemoglobin low in total volume. B12 is not required, but vitamin C is ascorbic acid, which is obtained from fresh fruit juices, lemon, orange, grapes, tomato, germinating seeds. Promotes functioning of the capillary walls and increase susceptibility to infection. So, yeah, the main thing is to increase the susceptibility of getting infection. So, fighting against the infections is what is happening. Otherwise, it can cause the deficiency like scurvy, spongy bleeding gums, loosening of the teeth. So that is about the vitamins. We now see the last kind of a nutrient, that is the last one, that is water. Water is indispensable. Yes, you cannot replace water with anything at all. Okay, so about 2/3 of our body weight is water. It serves the following functions. It acts as a solvent in the body for thousands of organic and inorganic substances. So first thing is that it is acting as a solvent for thousands of different inorganic and organic substances which are moving in our body. It is used to produce digestive juices. Of course, all the digestive juices will be having the main thing as water, so it is required to produce digestive juices. It helps in the transportation of digested food and oxygen throughout the body. So water, blood also contains water, so that's why the transportation of the nutrients and the digested food to the different parts of the body is done with the help of water. It is used in the excretion of soluble waste. So we very well know the urine what we pass out is maximum water, which contains all the nitrogen waste which needs to be excreted from the body. So that's why excretion ke liye it is required. And finally, it is involved in the maintenance of body temperature. Now, water is going to maintain the body temperature because water has got a high specific heat capacity, so it is going to keep your body at a particular temperature. So that's the reason whenever you are going to feel very hot, you start perspiring. So water is required for perspiration also. So that's why it is maintaining the water content in the body. Loss and replacement. How do you lose and replace the water? So first thing, water is regularly lost by the body through sweat, urine, and as water vapor in breath. So of course, sweat and urine we very well know, and also when we breathe out, there is certain amount of water vapor which is given out. So definitely we can say, of course, the quantity is very less overall, but yes, we are losing water by the three forms, that is urine, sweat, and the respiration. And because we are losing this by these three processes, that's why it is very much required that we consistently keep on drinking water so that we are maintaining the water balance in our body. So therefore it is constantly replaced, it must be replaced. The liquids we drink and the food we eat, such as fruits and vegetables, supply water to the body. Still, we should drink about 7 to 8 glasses of water every day. So of course we know that the fruits what we eat or the vegetables what we eat, they will be containing water in it, but still we will require some more amount of water. That's why we should drink at least 7 to 8 glasses of water daily. So that was about water, and so we can see the overview over here that carbohydrates are going to do oxidation, release energy and from ATP. Fats are going to do the same process, as well as they are going to be the building and repair of the cellular tissues, production of hormones and enzymes. Proteins also going to be the building and repair work. Water is going to do the building repair work plus regulation of the body processes. Minerals again body repair and regulation, and vitamins will be regulation part. So that is the what the body is going. The different nutrients are going to help in the body in our body. Okay. The next what we see is the balanced diet. So a balanced diet is the one which contains all the principal constituents of food in proper quantity. So when you have all the proper nutrients which we require in the body in the food what we intake, then the food what we intaking is called as a balanced diet. So it is very much important that when we are having any food, at that time it should have all these six nutrients present in them. Only then we can say that the food what we are intaking is a balanced diet. One special aspect of a balanced diet is the sufficient number of calories which it will provide. So apart from this, a very important thing about the balanced diet is the amount of calorie intake. Okay, the calorie which we are going to intake. So a calorie is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. In considering the energy value of the food, usually the term kilocalorie is used, which is written as kcal. Kilocalorie is 1000 times the unit calorie. So calorie, of course, it is a physical term that physics में use होता है in case of calorimetry. That calorie is that quantity of heat which will be required to heat 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. So when I am heating 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius, the amount of calorie of heat which is required is 1 calorie. Food normally has kilocalories, so that's why it is given as kcal. So it will be given as kcal, which is kilocalorie, which is nothing but 1000 calorie. So 1000 calorie, it forms 1 kilocalorie, and this is the amount of food. It is the amount of energy which the food is going to give you when you are intaking that particular food. So if the daily intake of food does not provide sufficient calorie, a person would lose weight as it rapidly happens during fasting. In that situation, the existing food stores of the body are oxidized and the capacity of work is reduced. So it is seen that if we require a specific quantity of calorie of food intake in our body. If the calorie intake of our body is less than what we require, then automatically the body will not be having the right amount of energy. And in such cases, the fats which are stored in our body, they are going to get oxidized and give you the energy which is required. And that's the reason when a person goes for a long fasting, automatically his body gets reduced. The fats are going to be reduced. Why? Because he is utilizing his earlier storage of the fats and all which was there. And that's the reason fasting ke time pe loss of weight hota. Now, in this case, the calorie intake, if at all it is more, then automatically you are going to slowly and steadily become obese. So that's why the calorie intake should be very much monitored. It is seen that calorie intake for a child 2 to 3 years will be around 1000 to 1400 kilocalorie per day. A teenager 1800 to 2400. Adult woman 2000 to 2400. Elderly woman 1600 to 1800. Adult man 2600 to 3000. Adult men will be 2600 to 3000. Elderly men will be 2000 to 4000. Pregnant lady 2200 to 2600, and adult laborer will be 2800 to 3200. So you can see that depending upon the kind of the activity you are doing, the amount of kilocalories of the food intake what you will require on a daily basis is going to vary. So that's why it is seen that of course the male requires more amount of energy than the female because the muscle part being more, but otherwise as such it is seen that the calorie intake is given over here for different kinds of persons over here. So we come to a particular thing which is called as malnutrition. So malnutrition is a condition in which a person suffers due to lack of deficiency or one or more essential elements of food. So if the food what you are intaking is not having, okay, or we can say if a person is not able to have the or is lacking or having a deficiency of the one or more essential requirements of the food, then the person is suffering from malnutrition. So malnutrition is a condition in which a person suffers due to lack of deficiency of one or more essential elements of the food. Now on the top they are given as the balanced diet for a adult person. So it is given that the cereals will give you around 350 grams per day will give you a balanced diet. Okay, they already given a balanced diet with a moderate physical activity if it is there. Then what should be the balanced diet? So he should take around rice or wheat around 350 grams a day, pulses around 90 grams a day. if it is he's a non-vegetarian, then he can take a fish, or means if he is non-vegetarian, he will be taking the dal and rice around 60 grams, whereas meat and fish around 50 grams. Milk, vegetarian should take around 300 grams, whereas the non-vegetarian should take around 100. Vegetables, both should be taking 100 grams each per day. Potato, 75 grams. Leafy vegetables, about 100 grams. Egg, of course, one egg should be there for non-vegetarian, but no need for vegetarian. Fat and oil will be around 50 grams for vegetarian and 40 grams for non-vegetarian, because to compensate with whatever non-vegetarian things there. So oil is slightly higher, oil and fat is higher. Sugar, 40 grams each. Lemon, around 1 lemon a day, and seasonal fruits, around 1 seasonal fruit a day, that is around 53 grams. So this is a balanced diet which will be, so a moderately, an adult doing a moderate physical activity, so around, this should give you around a kilocalorie of around 2500 to 3000 kilocalorie by this diet. And the importance of cellulose in the diet, that is roughage, which we already studied. But cellulose, considering the roughage in our food, roughage is the undigestible portion of the diet, the fruits, vegetables and other, and the outer coats of the seeds and grains, that is, for example, choras of the wheat flour are particularly rich in roughage. The roughage enables the food to move easily through the intestine. It stimulates secretion from the digestive tracts and helps in the removal of cholesterol, fats, excretory substance, fatty excretory substance, and toxins. Constipation can often be avoided by including sufficient roughage in food. Salads, green vegetables, whole fruits such as guava, along with its seeds, and not only nutritious but also provide roughage. So that was about the balanced diet and the roughage. Yeah, this is the end of the chapter. Quite a small chapter. Yeah, just 2 parts. Right. Of course, for learning part, you need to learn all these part. Also, the nutrition, the need for the nutrition is also there, and to a certain extent, yes, the table which is given, the 2 tables which are given over here, table number 10.2 and table number 10.3. One is for the minerals and the other is for the vitamins. So we can see that certain amount of minerals ka learning zaruri hai to know that what kind of deficiency disease or what is the function of that particular mineral in our body. And but the other one is for the vitamins. So the vitamin A, D, and K, and vitamin B1, B9, and C can be used to, we can learn this part, because they are much important in our day-to-day life. So these are normal questions they are going to ask you from. So that's why we can learn those parts. Right. So that's it for this chapter. Thank you.